Are there any key lessons or takeaways so far, or anything you might do differently moving forward?
Yeah, great question. So we just made some changes this week. We spoke to one of our mentors, and he had made the suggestion for us to sort of lean things back a little bit. And the reference point that Dan gave us, which I quite like, is he said to own a time zone before you own the world. And I like that concept and idea. So, we originally had focused just on Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, but Dan had brought up, well, hold on, Japan, very high net worth community and culture. You could do some great stuff there. Hong Kong as well. And then also potentially looking at Indonesia as well. So we decided we're not going to move ahead with Indonesia anymore, but there's some markets there that we can explore. So there's more opportunity domestically or even in Australia Pacific than we had considered. And, there's, if you consider like even India, billion people. Now there's a huge divide between the haves and haves not in India, but if you took the top 5%, they have obscene levels of wealth in India. That's still 50 million people. That's a huge amount of people. It's more than double the population of Australia, and that's the top 5% of India. So there's a lot of opportunities as part of that, not to mention China if we were to get into that market, or even South Korea, for example. So I'm not sure how we'd go in North Korea. We'll see. But we'll just start with South Korea.
You like a challenge.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, there's a couple of different points there, but I would say start and expand geographically within your natural trade route effectively, right? Start there because it's easier to manage because the time zone's just easier. It's going to make your life easier. That's number one. Number two is what I would also do as well is understand what are the critical parts of the process that you have special competence in that you have to do in-house, and what parts can you outsource or delegate. So one of the things that we tried to do in the beginning was effectively get salespeople in each of those cities. Now that's all good, but when you're then trying to train those people to get them up to speed, it takes a lot of energy because they're in all those different territories. What we could have done, though, is just get people doing appointment setting in those markets, which is very easy to do. We're very good at doing that. And then we could have done our sales domestically and getting somebody in Australia to do the sales for us, where we already have an established sales team. That would have been a smarter strategy in the short term. That would have been better. Also, when we look to expand in the future, we'll probably bring on board country managers. They'll actually just manage and build a team themselves in those countries. But the big reason why we probably scaled back a little bit as well is Ash and I are looking to have a baby at the moment, and we're not pregnant yet, but we're trying for that. So, the point was raised. Look, when you have a child, do you really want to be running a global business with 17 to 40 staff in 5 or 6 countries? Or do you want to have a more of a low-key, less stressful approach, less complex approach, and instead just focus on making like maybe a little bit less money, but more profitable and far less stress? And so I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to focus on Australia Pacific. We're also going to do a little bit of work in the UK and Ireland because it's a natural time zone distinction for us. It's much easier in our afternoons to work with the UK than it is the US. So we'll do a bit of that. And we'll just focus on those markets, and we'll probably do a little bit of stuff in the Middle East as well.